Howdy, folks. How are you guys doing? Sorry for the little bit of delay of me getting on camera. I had something weird going on with all my inputs and outputs and such. So that was weird, but I claim it's fixed now. We shall see. I need to send out a tweet, let people know we are doing the thing and the thing. How's everyone doing today? Let me mute this so I don't kill you with my typing. Twitch.com/Tallskull. I'll turn this back on. Oh, actually, I was on the whole time. Sorry, I guess I was typing in your ears regardless. I was not intending to do that. Dragons, Daniel, Danny, Jeanette, Alicia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Daniel, Danny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cloak and Blaster. Hey, how's everyone doing out there? Just go ahead and get that out. Whew. Okay, so that's done. Okie dokie. I need to get rid of that. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. Get my old bandwidth up. Not meaning to be so scattered right now. I've got some friends in town. We're celebrating birthdays and was fitting in the gym and all those other fun things. And so I'm going to need that. Going to need that. Going to need treasure. Treasure. Gonna need that. Hey, NG9, thank you. Shuggy, how you doing? Do I have a Kyle back there? Or is he all hungover and stuff? Have you gone and woken up Kyle for me yet, Shuggy? He said he might be a little late, which I understand. What else was I up to? Oh, I need to get this up, get the dashboard up. Here, revenue. Is that 17? No. 55 plus 25. 55. 55 plus 25 is 60, 70, 80. $80. So that's 160 on the old plus 160. Cool. Okay, I think I'm ready to stream now with 2 minutes to spare. Golly, sorry everyone. How's everyone doing? I am, I'm obviously running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and getting ready for this. What's going to be a fun session, I hope. I think. We shall see. I am missing a couple players, though. Yeah, Jeanette, Kyle, her. I'm not sure if Jeanette was going to be late today. Whether she's got her, whether she's working and having to jump in later. I can't recall. But anyway, Kent Hyde, how you doing? But anyway, hey, Geeky Tea Party is here. Who else is in the house that I missed? I'm sorry, I was super distracted. Wily Hobbit, I saw earlier. Da-da-da. I am going to go ahead and maybe we'll get our folks going while we... Okay, we're going to go live here in about now, so give me a second. I'll be right there. So, we're jumping over, folks. Yep, 6K. There we go. So, and we are live with our group, mixed all around in all the wrong spots, but here they are. Let me get folks moved around while people tell us who they are and who they are playing today. We will start off with Luna. Totally none of those things. Let's go up next with our muted audio problem. Stand by. Oh, I see why. Okay, someone, folks in Zoom talk. Nope. Stop talking. Okay, there you are.
Okay.
So,
yes.
Once more, with feeling.
Yeah. Yes. I'm Energy 9. I play Luna. She's quiet. Nothing important. Moving on.
There you go. Next up, we have Good Guy Pie.
I am Good Guy Pie, and I'm fabulous, I'm wonderful, and I will also be playing Luck Goldheart, Adventure Extraordinaire and Blood Hunter. Fear me and my amazing goat.
Okie dokie. And you're amazing. Actually, Ram, Goat, well, whatever. Any of the above. Next up, we have Templar Warden.
Hello, I am shaking the camera. Hello, I am Templar 1. I am playing Hidden by Axel, the Spectry Wizard. who is not a lich. Whatever you guys say, he's not a lich and he's not turning into a lich. But he's excitable,
Whatever you need
curious.
to tell yourself.
Yeah,
Yet.
he is too curious for it to be discounted. Let's just leave it at that, shall we?
Yeah, because curiosity never killed. Oh, never mind. Bird vs. Plane.
Hi, folks. I am Bird vs. Plane. I'll be playing Iskatol, the half-elf bard, singer of fates, gunslinger extraordinaire, with her new multi-legged family.
Yay.
Yay.
And next up, we have Tunarth.
Hello, I am playing Kel, the Wood Elf Druid, who is currently perched behind the newly euthaned Luck on his amazing mountain goat.
Magnificent.
And magnificent.
Bighorn sheep ram thing.
And we are headed out of east, going south, I believe.
That's actually probably one of the first questions I'm going to ask you guys.
I think we had determined that that's where we were going, and I'm definitely not Jeanette, who plays Celia, the high elf rogue, who will be here later because of work. And
No,
I'm
she's just that stealthy. She's actually here. She's just
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I must have rolled really poorly on my perception. And I'm not Dragons Are Cats, who plays Iskrin, the Eladrin Warlock, who might be hungover and asleep. We don't know.
Yeah, we figured Shuggy will go roll him out of bed here a little bit.
He has entered his Dragon's Rest. He will join us when his Dragon's Rest has completed.
Yes.
He's in the ring.
It's his Odin sleep.
It's his Odin sleep. So anyway, to recap a little bit, first thing, I am Tall Squall. I am your DM and your host for the Vice. Tell you a little bit about us and our channel. We do run it 100% for charity. And this month we are supporting the incredible organization of Mr. Holland's Opus Fund, which supplies instruments to to groups and to schools that their music programs are underfunded, and so that they're still able to bring music to kids and to their curriculums. So that is who we are supporting this month. You can donate in the doobly-doo down below, and that is going to allow you to influence our game by giving our players healing die, nat 20s, inspirations. There are also items, potions, wondrous items, and for our $50 level this month, we do have a ring rod, staff, or wand of rare or lesser quality off of a random table for a specific person. So that can be very cool. That is how all of our party members got their unique mounts, was through donations. So if you're able to donate, that's great. If you're not, you can go to their website and just retweet or send out some more awareness of the things that they do, because music is critical to young people's minds and their development, and I think it's just a great thing to support out there. So that's a little bit about us and what we do. Anyway, to catch us up on where we are in our story, our party, after a long bit of travel through actually only half of the Viceroy's Highway, also known as the Vice, teleported themselves through the help of highly magical means to the town of East, which sits basically at the terminus of the Viceroy's Highway, but on the eastern side. Up to this point, the campaign had all been centered on the western side. They found themselves here, found out lots of information about the town, some of the history of the creation of the Vice, made some pretty unique sort of hooking clues together while they were there, as well as Luna was discovered that as they had learned through some of their research in West that there was this great calamity which caused the destruction of the teleportation network in our world, and also the destruction of Dar Ixis, the capital and home city of the Tieflings. But its energy that was released had been hinted at was what caused the creation of the Genasi race. A group called the Indigo Seed, with an actual seed that they are carrying around, a large magical seed, have been tasked with sort of gathering all of this energy together. And our group discovered that some of that energy had been trapped within the highly magical Sylvan Stone that is what most of East, or at least certainly parts of East, are created. The buildings there are created from. Using some rituals and battling some ghosts, they were able to collect that energy back into the seed. However, in the process of teleporting out of the device, they had sort of angered, this little minor problem, a Netherwing that was trying to stop them in the device after flying for pretty much 36 hours straight. As they teleported, it caught up with them and seemed to be held at bay by a mysterious group of red-robed individuals who our party has encountered before through the use of the Death Rune, actually just a shadow of them and their last exploits in Moss Hollow. But they seem to be able to hold off this Netherwing that was attacking East, but not before, in a bit of a huff, it used its breath weapon to spread a dozen vice magic surges across the city, creating chaos and turmoil. As our party tried to escape, they raced against the clock, literally, and got themselves the party back together, their equipment gathered, companions collected, our buddy Grain got collected, mounts acquired as people were streaming out of East in sort of a panic, and we left our party as they sort of charged out the front gates, sort of at the back end of the masses, but certainly there's still quite a few of other, just this flood of people heading down the main road. Hey, thank you, Wily Hobbit. Donates $10. Let me know if you want to do any shopping down below, or I can just throw it in the spell bank. Actually, we're about to do the spell bank, so whichever you would like to do, that would be fine. And so they headed out sort of along with this flood of people in a panic, leaving East as many fairly horrific creatures buffed by, both created and then reinforced by the Vice Magic Surges, were running rampant and eventually getting under control at East. But panic is panic. A lot of people decided they didn't have any more business they wanted to take care of while in East, and so headed out. Speaking of the spell bank, I am about to add in our all of our subs, which is an extra 160 to spell bank. That's $80 into the donation fund. So let me go ahead and get that put in, and we are going to be rolling on ye old table of scrolls here in just a moment. And let me add this donation in for all our subs, so you get your just due.
Tell us what we must scroll through, dear sir.
Yeah, I was just thinking here, because I got everything else set up for to add in all of the new spells, but I have not done it yet for our scrolls. So these will still be our original spells. For all our subscriptions, $80. And for a level 2 scroll, Spellbank. Okay, so actually we go bring that up to 270. Thank you, Wiley. As we will approach, it is a level 2 spell. Level 2 is a D67.
$55.
On a 55, the current spell, ooh, now this is interesting. This could be helpful, is See Invisibility.
We also have a scroll of true sight as well, I believe. So that would be very useful.
Cool, cool. So,
Should we go ahead and cash that sucker in?
Seeing
Think it's worth it?
It's always good.
You
always
know,
good.
can.
Copying.
Bird?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, that's good.
let's
Okay.
do it, man.
Yeah.
Jewish.
If
Cool.
Iskrin, if they lose Iskrin again, you know.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I see you.
Or, you know, we could just
give
leave
it-
him
just
for
gi-
dead.
Just give it to Celia.
cool. So,
I
was
like that a
That was
lot.
quick and easy. So, we are back down to $70 in the spell bank. And with a level 0 spell, so there's no spell right now. And See Invisibility is cashed in to be placed in our next Ludaruni. So, unless there's any further questions, actually, I do have a thing, just a mechanics thing, because we're entering into an interesting skill-laden area of our world.
New spreadsheets, everybody. New spreadsheet alert.
New spreadsheet.
New spreadsheet alert.
Duck and cover.
Absolutely awesome.
Outside of combat, when we are doing checks, I'm going to ask you guys to whisper to me any of your donation spends, so that it is not general knowledge that a player might be having their character cash in on like a nat 20 or something, so that as your characters would not know that someone else is going to be extremely lucky in their thing. So on these group checks, if you are spending mainly for if you're going to use a nat 20, certainly inspirations can be used after the roll, but if you're going to be using an advantage or a nat 20, I would like you to go ahead and whisper that to me, instead of necessarily announcing it out to the rest of the party, just so that we are a little more true to what the other players might know. And, potentially there could be things that might need more than one nat 20 to be actually successful in this next little, higher level area of our world. I don't know.
That sounds fine, except for if you're rolling for somebody else. Then I do think they should be announced if the person is not there. So, so everybody knows what's been used and what's happened. So if you're playing yourself, yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Yeah, if you're rolling for someone, who's not there, yeah. Okay. So, my first question is: you guys head out of East. You guys are in sort of a rush, a panic, not quite as bad as it was. What is sort of your plan? I mean, I heard Danny talking about that you all wanted to head south. Are you going to hug right up against?
I think that was the plan. But we haven't discussed the route we're going to take. And if we take the most direct way, we're going to be skirting the forest the entire way, and I don't know that we want to do that.
Well, I mean, we're taking the trail, right? So the smuggler's trail gets all twisty and turvy in a way we don't know anyway. Now, you can see how it's represented on the graph, but that's not how it's necessarily actually going to be when we're on it. It specifically changes.
Here's
we
a
can't
question.
control how close we are to it.
Do we have any idea with how close Smuggler's Gambit or the Smuggler's Trail, whatever it was
Gambit.
called?
I think Gambit was correct.
Yeah, it was Michael's Gambit.
Yeah, Smuggler's
I mean,
Gambit.
It's not on the map, so we have
Correct.
no idea.
Yeah,
Do we
not,
have any idea with its proximity to the Vice if it's going to be a lot like East in that every single time magic is used or we use it, we run the risk, or we don't know?
Well, that, I mean, that's the thing. You're going to be moving away from the throat of the Vice. What occurs with magic as you do that? I mean, as you all came down from Sojourn's Crossing, it almost came in, directly as an east-west path into west. This, from what the little bit that Doc told you, and that you've heard about it, that it is an ever-changing path that does sort of skirt along the border between the Midnight Weald and the Sylvan Expanse. And sort of weaves in and out of the two of them. He had said, or I think it was him or Dustin, between one of the two of them had said, that the trail does move because the land itself is volatile because of the sort of competing forces of those two entities. The sort of trapped magic of the Sylvan Expanse back from the Sylvan War, and the Midnight Weald, which is this giant forest that Axel has postulated with Iskrin was acting as this giant resistor, and certainly you have felt the sluggishness of magic around around the other. Hey, $33 from Templar Warding. Agatha souvenir for Kel. I'm sorry, and I missed the rest of it. Bardic Inspiration, Nat 20 for our resident bard. So wait, all that goes to Tunarth? Or,
No.
Or Iska, our real life bard,
Iska
or
and
our
Kel.
other bard?
Both. So
Yes.
souvenir to Kel and the rest to Iska.
Cool. So I get to do the
Thank you.
I get to do the new thing. So this is interesting. So give me half a second. So items, magic item listing, wondrous items, common and uncommon.
He's beyonding. That's what he's done.
Yeah, we're doing it in Beyond, so that this is like I was saying, I have other things ready. So what I need you to do, Kel, Danny, is roll me a d6. Okay, that makes it easy. And then roll me a d20. An 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, cool. So I will add that in. Cool. And then it's if you Bird will go ahead and put down your others. So that's what, as far as you know about Smuggler's Gambit, that's kind of what you know about it. That it does go south, sort of right along the that border between both the Midnight Weald and the Sylvan Expanse. But it is it's a trail that people know about and use. Doc said it's for the foolish and the foolhardy, but it does get you there. Cuts off it's almost 50% less mileage now on a road. On a road you can, you're going to be able to have, probably be a little safer. Are going to have more ability to use your dragon striding on, down on Smuggler's Gambit is going to be risky, not impossible, but risky. But yeah, in general, the knowledge of Doc and the people you talk to is, it literally will knock almost a month off your trip to Falcon's Crest.
We've got to take the Gambit.
Time is of the
Yep.
essence.
We gotta roll those dice, people.
Yep.
What could go wrong?
So,
What are the odds?
what are the odds? So,
We'll be fine.
as far as your question, Bird, which was as you all left, and he was certainly in a, he was trying to get himself out the door as well. Basically, the only direction you got from Davin was to look for the ravine to the south. Was about all you got. I guess the real question is, where I was going is, if you are want to head south, I mean, there is, just like there was on the north side of East, I know, On the north side of east, there is a sort of perimeter road right underneath the walls. This is sort of this grassy highland with these large sort of limestone boulders that push out of it. You can swing wide to try to get south of town. It sort of depends on what you guys, how you want to go about this first leg of things.
Could we just borrow Iskrin's mask, give it to Cal, and say, "Okay, show us where we're going"? The one that you see from above.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly get that view from 200 feet above. I will say I'd say at this point in your state of mind, actually do me a Axel, do me a intelligence check at disadvantage, just because everything's going to look at you with a 24 and a 25.
Axel.
It's Axel. Yeah, you guys, I mean, get out of town, and do you want to say you head down the road a little ways before you think of this, or would you have already turned south when you think of this?
Axel would probably been pushing just go directly south.
Okay.
But
so we'll say you guys head south a little bit, and this does come to your mind. I'd say it's about 10 a.m. by the time sort of all of y'all's pulse has slackened down a little bit. This all occurred right at sunrise. By the time you ran around, got your party together, everything like that, it's about 10 a.m. And go ahead and put on. You can go ahead and put on the mask, Axel, and take a look. As I said, you guys are still a little bit in this sort of flight mode. The parting of ways of basic, friends, old and new. Not to mention the fact most of you have some level of exhaustion. If you don't, it's only because of the rejuvenation pool. But you have all been up well over 24 hours at this point without a long rest.
I think what he was suggesting, though, was that since I'm the only one not actually having to, drive a mount.
Right.
Yeah, he specifically said give it to Cal.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. I was thinking...
Cal's the pathfinder. He's the one who knows how to, wander.
Not only that, but I'm riding so I can concentrate on a view outside of myself and direct us where I don't have to be worrying about, am I, is the goat going off the edge of the mountain or whatever.
Right.
Not that there's a mountain to go off the edge of, but...
Okay. So, Kel, go ahead and do me a perception check. And it is a check. I don't know where you are exhaustion-wise. I can't remember whether you've got... I think you
I have one level.
Yeah.
So is that disadvantage?
I claim that is with disadvantage. One level gives you disadvantage. So on a 19, you do get this view. It's 200 feet up, and so it sort of gives you a view. I'm going to say that it's basically a right angle up there. So we're going to say that it gives you basically a 200-foot radius view around yourself.
A top-down view?
Top-down view. So you're looking straight down at the party. From that height, I would say, you can still sort of maybe see sort of the very edge of the walls of east to your north, and very much this flowing grassland around you. From this height, you're getting a better perspective than you got from the north side of east of just how much your elevation changed from the Dragongust Plains to east, from west to east. An almost imperceptible rise while you were actually in the Vice, over that 210 miles, has turned itself into quite an elevation change on this side. You are in, these highlands that look down the the landscape sort of slopes very, very gently to the south downwards. But from what you can see, even with this sort of increased view, still is just a lot of this sort of verdant green, a few conifers and trees that poke up here and there, mainly sort of centered around where you see these sort of big limestone outcroppings that you had seen before. Here on this side, as the terrain sort of falls away, you see more and more of these much larger scale. Some would have, you are sort of poking out almost level with the ground, but then there's a 20 to 30 foot drop off on the southern face of these as sort of the land is going down, but this limestone outcroppings sort of punctuate up through the scenery. From here as well, Kel, you're realizing it's early spring, as it is often in the mountains or highlands. There are still pockets of snow sort of in guarded areas where it hasn't, wherever it might have drifted up high against the rocks. The air temperature is fairly warm right now, but it has not been that way for long. You're sort of, certainly Kel with his survival skills, having been in the northern regions of the western side of the continent. This greenery that you're seeing is kind of like that first germination after the snow has melted, and in some cases it hasn't completely melted. That this is just spring having just reached this area of the highlands here around east.
Okay.
You do not see any type of a ravine from your vantage point.
Well, if we're looking for a ravine, though, it would seem like we would want to follow the contour of the land downwards at the very least.
Yep.
So I'm going to be looking for. I mean, are we on a path?
No, you're really just sort of out across the this green land.
Okay, then I'm going to be looking for places where we can essentially get down the large steps of the land.
Yep.
So we're not like plunging off a 20 or 30 foot drop on our mount.
Yeah, no, this, again, there's a lot of green areas. There's a lot of places where it's sloped, but there are places where it's very steep where you will have to navigate. Certainly your mounts seem to be able to navigate through this terrain fairly easily. But it is still, you kind of sometimes have to pick your way down. Kel, since you're sort of leading this, go ahead and do me a survival check. And again, disadvantage with your exhaustion. On a 20, at one point, when you sort of take a break from looking at the goggles from above and are sort of helping the party scout out, you had a way to pick your way down with the terrain. You notice that there are thunderheads brewing to the east and threatening sort of rough incoming weather. With your 20, I'll go ahead and give you this region being at a much higher elevation than the Dragongust Plains. Getting caught up here on like elevated ground with no shelter in a storm, especially in you guys' exhausted condition, can literally become deadly pretty quickly as just the exposure, your exhaustion, the stress of it. I mean, it's no joke to be up in the highlands during a heavy spring thunderstorm.
Probably the thunderstorm is coming from the east?
Coming from the west.
Okay, yeah,
it's coming in from the east. Yeah, coming in, heading eastward. I'm sorry, west. No, coming in from the east. I was right. It's coming from across. It's coming from not the way of the forest.
Okay.
Yeah, you're heading south. It's coming in from the east.
Okay, so are we in? So I guess that means we're in the southern hemisphere of this planet.
You don't know. The weather's coming in from the east.
Okay, that's just sorry. That's me trying to figure out. It's like, oh, well, that's an unusual way for weather patterns to go from what I'm used to.
I was going to say, we have northeasters all the time over here on the East Coast, dude.
Well, but in the bulk of the continental United States, east of the Rocky Mountains, the weather patterns move from the mountains.
This is a fantasy game.
Thank you, Alicia. Yes, the storm is coming from the east.
Blame the druids.
I thought you were wondering why the storm was coming out of the forest. No, it's because it's coming from the east.
No, I was more concerned about the rotation of the planet and the overall jet stream and weather pattern. Sorry.
Anyway, no, storm coming in from the east.
Okay. Storm coming in from the east.
You got a few hours probably to try.
Shut up, Alicia. Shut up.
Yeah, you probably got a few hours before it gets here, but you're not gonna want to. This is not, again, just from your survival instincts, you sort of look around to the group around you. You've got a lot of people who are exhausted. You've got mounts,
including myself.
Yeah,
yes,
you've got.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to continue trying to get us lower as quickly as possible out of the highlands. Let's just keep pushing as far as we can. About how much time do I estimate I have before?
2 to 3 hours. And when you look, one of the ways you kind of even detected this sort of downward slope. In some places it's very steep, but the overall detection is, when you look out to the horizon, you can see, your eyes are level with the tops of the trees. These highlands go on for a long, long way, or beyond what you're able to see.
Okay, so I'm going to, keeping, kind of a mental tab on how close it appears to be getting. If it seems I'm running out of time or have less time than I thought, I will act. But my plan is to keep us going downwards for another hour out of the 2 to 3, and then try and edge into the edge of the forest to try and find some place for us to shelter within the edge of the tree line, to mitigate the effects of the storm on us.
Okay. As you keep moving for about an hour, you keep going again, picking your way down and through, across these highlands. You do,
and still all of this time looking for if there's any hint of some ravine.
Yeah. No, you have yet to see any sign of ravine, or even sort of the natural formations that would bring you to think that there would be a ravine in the area. You do find, as you are going for about this hour, just because of the natural outcroppings and shape of the land, it seems to be pushing you further and further to the east, away from the forest. You would have to sort of actually try to do some climbing, grappling, rappelling. I know rappelling is down. So climbing up some of these outcroppings to try to get yourself west at this point towards the tree line. A cold wind does start to blow more forcefully from the east, and the thunderclouds are definitely looking more menacing and ominous. I would say everyone else do me a perception check to see if it's getting pretty obvious that there's something big brewing and coming this way.
Well, I'm gonna head, obviously at this point, head as straight as I can to the trees. I was unaware that the downward trend was taking us away from the forest. I thought we were still paralleling downwards.
I mean, again, it had been going sort of back and forth. So, I mean, at this point, it's soon enough for you to recognize that if you keep going that direction. Okay,
well, no. I mean, we're going to turn and head towards the forest line at this point.
Yep. I would say, pretty much all of you, and certainly if anyone but pointing it out, you see that there's a big storm coming this way. Go ahead and do me a survival check, Danny, as you start to, now keeping an eye out for someplace to shelter.
You know what? Because I'm at disadvantage, I'm going to use a nat 20.
Okay. You do find in this area sort of a small...
Oh, actually, I need to use 2 nat 20s.
Yes, you would.
And I will do that. This is too important to
Yep.
our group's safety for me not to use them.
What is going on? So you do find on your 2 nat 20s, you do find a small copse of trees and against a rock. But even so, sort of one of these big outcroppings has sort of a group of trees. But even so, it's going to be pretty exposed. Y'all can keep looking. You might not find anything. I will allow on this, and again, this would be where we would do our new whisper thing. Anyone who is trained in perception, nature, survival, if y'all want to keep looking for maybe something better, you guys, anyone who's trained in any of those threes are able to do that. In fact, I'm going to pull up Celia's and Iskrin's sheets because I am not sure whether they are trained in, or you guys can ride it out in this area that you have found, or you can try to find if you can find something better. You'd probably need to split up the party a little bit to do a search.
Definitely trained in perception.
We have tents, so that's an advantage. But Axel will clamber up one of the trees and take a look.
Do you have Celia already open?
I got Celia already open.
Okay. Does anyone have Iskrin? If not, I can go ahead and get it.
Nope. It's okay. It's not a death saving throw. It's no big deal.
There you go. Can I make another roll?
So you guys are going to keep on looking. You all going to split up, try to stay together? Are you going to sort of fan out? What's the plan here?
I think we need to leave at least one person here, so that we're going to tentatively stop here and then kind of do
Me and Iska will stay
feelers out.
Iska and Luna can hang out and maybe start to just not batten down the hatches, but just kind of feel it while they're searching. We'll kind of figure out what's the safest way to go about surviving the storm if we have to stay in the copse of trees.
Okay. So,
Axel will give us sort of a view from
what do you
above,
need me to
trying
roll?
keep track of everyone.
Perception or survival?
Your choice.
Well, they're the same for me, so I guess it doesn't
Well,
matter.
I mean, what is Kel relying on?
Probably survival. His woodland instincts.
Gotcha. So, just for story-wise, I'll say that Celia and Iskrin sort of head off in one direction. Axel, you said you go up a tree. We've got Luna and Iska sort of staying put. Luck, what are you up to?
Luke is sort of seeing everyone sort of splitting off. He sort of sees Cal probably go one way, sort of maybe looking through a bunch of trees, and Luke sort of goes off the other way, sort of checking the canopy.
And I am still using the overhead view.
Correct. Yeah, no ravine in sight, and with the overhead, you're seeing again a lot of these sort of little groves of trees, a lot of the outcroppings. To try to find something that might be more, give you more than just trees and a rock to put your back up against. You're not going to see a lot from that above. Go ahead, Iska and Luna. Do me survival checks in the trees that you're in.
Sure. Nope.
Are you guys both at disadvantage or just...
Luna most certainly is.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
Okay. And again, this is a. I will. Iska. I mean, you said
I'm
you were
just bad
batting.
at shit.
Well, no, you said you were battening down the hatches. You do know enough from the times you've wandered off from caravans and other places. You start collecting firewood because things are going to be getting very wet very soon. You guys see Cilia and Iskren wander off to the east. You see Cilia get, for some reason, Iskren said something to her. You see her get very frustrated with him and just sort of yell at him and start walking back to the copse of trees. It takes about 45 minutes as you are gathering firewood. Kel, you are looking around, trying to see whatever, but your druidic sense of what makes a place to shelter in the storm is not quite the same for a party of 7 people in their mounts. You do find some more sort of denser trees that you could go under. Luck. You
I'm
find
mainly trying to find if there is some place, depending on how the terrain is laid out, if these outcroppings and the way the trees are oriented, if if I can find some place that's in the leeward side from where the storm is coming, so that at least the stone is protecting us rather than the trees.
Okay. Yeah, no, and I mean, you are able to find a place in the lee of the stone. It's still, again, the only overhead protection is going to be the trees, etc. Luck.
How far is it from where we stopped before?
You found a spot probably about 15 minutes from where you left Iska and Luna.
Okay. Then I am going to book it back because, if it's a choice of having, just trees sheltering us from, the wind coming at us versus, being our backs with the stone and it going over our heads to a degree, this other spot is potentially a better choice.
Okay.
And so I'm going to try and get back as quickly as I can so that we have time to move everybody back.
Okay. Yeah, you get back there. You see Iska and Luna gathering up firewood. Axel, you are up a tree, and what distracts you? Because you're at well, it's a 7, and I don't think you're on advantage.
Yeah, he's trying to look for things that he's not, because he's been in the Drakengard Plains and he's been in the forest.
Yeah.
This is sort of new environment for him. So he's like, oh, this is really, really interesting. What's happening here? But he's still trying to look for anything, but he just can't figure out what is what.
Yep.
And most of the time he's distracted by making sure he's got an eye on where everyone is going as well, so no one gets disappearing in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so you see the whole incident between Cilia and Iskren, and see Iskren keep heading off to the east.
I'll keep an eye on it.
While you're up there, do me an Arcana check.
Oh, yeah. Disadvantage.
On a 13. One of the main things that hits you is a little bit of inspiration related to your research into the life rune. And you pluck off on this sort of the very top of this tree, you pluck a leaf or a small sort of branch. It's like a conifer. So a small sort of branch of this sort of the very tippy top of this conifer tree. Luck, you were saying you sort of headed the opposite direction of Kel, which is going to take you probably a little bit to the south east. Not quite, Iskren sort of almost due east. You actually do find a sort of a place where maybe 2 of these limestone rocks sort of come together to make a little bit of an L shape, which seems actually pretty good. Whilst not truly a cave, it actually looks like it's going to give you sort of shelter from two directions when doing that. Do you want to keep looking, or do you head back to let people know you've got a spot?
Just sort of give it one more check over, make sure there's...
You spend about another 5-10 minutes, and in the general area, you don't see anything that's getting better. This you were hoping that you might find something else, but you don't, and so book it back with you and Grain perched between the between the horns of the ram as you head back. Iskrin, you guys are all back there, and Iskrin hasn't come back. Celia's in a huff. The wind is now starting to pick up, and you do then see Iskrin charging back on his Caribor, and on a naturally rolled nat 20, he goes, "I found a cave, but it's this way. It's about 30 minutes. I'm not sure if we'll make it looking up at the skies."
Is that our best bet, Kel? Luck? Anything from you?
I found a good rock formation, sort of L shape, protects us from two sides.
That's better than what I found.
How far away are your options?
About 10 minutes.
Yeah, Iskrin goes, "About 30 minutes, but I think we can all fit the horses, everything. We'll need to do a little bit of something at the front to make it so that it closes off a little bit better, maybe."
I'll take care of it. Let's go for the cave.
Okay, let's go. We grab our stuff and we go.
Okay.
Take a little bit of storm.
So as you guys do this, the wind is starting to pick up pretty good. Thunder is now very prevalent. Go ahead and do me a animal handling check, all of you.
Except for me.
Yeah.
I need to do...
Do you want me to do Celia's and Iskrin's? Because I actually have his sheet as well.
Oh, do you have Iskrin? Yeah, if you could do both, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Oops. No, nothing.
So yeah, Charlotte...
Actually... Oh, maybe I don't need to.
I will say that with you being on Lux Ram, that you're able to, as the Ram seems to be a little spooked, probably because it knows better, probably because it knows it's sort of native to this thing. It probably is. You have a bigger problem of it trying to sort of leave the group and run ahead, but I'll let Luck have advantage since Kel, you are riding as well to. Get it under control. Luna, Carrot, in no hurry. Going along. Everyone else, you all actually are able to handle your mounts very well. So again, as you're moving that direction, the wind does start to pick up, and the rain really starts to come down. I need all of you guys to make constitution checks for me, please.
So, the rain, I can't get everybody, but Luna can get herself for the rain. So the rain that comes over her, she's just going to block it for her donkey and herself, because I can control that much water.
Okay. I do need you in your exhausted state. It's a constitution saving throw, but it's really for concentration of how well you're able to keep your protection up.
These rolls are up and down today.
Man, all over the place.
At least I'm not driving.
Yeah.
Don't cold and drive, people.
Yeah. Luna, while the water doesn't affect you that much, your exhaustion is definitely playing on you. And whereas normally you keeping yourself and Carrot dry, it's not working.
Hey, Tall Squall,
Yeah.
could you knock the wind sound effects down a notch?
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, chat.
Thank you, chat. Yeah, let me get a little bit in there. I was wondering, because that's sort of white noise, which probably blocks things really good. Better? Let me know, chat. As I took it way down and brought back a little bit. Yeah, Kel, the biggest thing for you, you're not wearing a shirt or anything. It is cold. You are starting to shiver pretty quickly just from the exposure. This rain is very cold. From your just survival instincts, probably could turn into hail at any moment. And as you guys head through, it's a new experience. Can I, because my constitution's so higher, can I, like, because it's a new experience, like, basically take the shawl that I normally wear off in order to feel it better? Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, just kind of throw it to Kel if I can, like, notice him shivering at all?
Sure, do me a perception check.
Sure. Perception.
Yeah, you do see Kel shivering.
Actually, before she can do anything, though, Kel is going to jump off the mount. And because he had a short rest, he got his wild shapes back, and he is going to turn into a bear. A polar bear.
Oh, we've never seen one of those.
What kind of bear is this? Albino bear?
It's an albino bear.
Okay.
It's a bear that got lost.
He is going to wait until the mounts are past him, though, so he doesn't spook them.
Okay.
And then he will follow behind as a bear.
So Kel, you jump off the mount and shift into your polar bear. And just about as soon as you make its form, you feel this horrible clench in the bear's chest, and you find yourself in human form suddenly lying on the ground. Lying next to you is a
suddenly
dead...
human?
Yes,
Oh.
and lying next to you is a dead, desiccated polar bear with horrible black sores on it. It is most assuredly dead, and you, as you look at it, see a form you once knew, dead, corrupted, and desiccated, lying next to you. The rest of the party, you waited for them to pass, is moving on in this heavy rain. They have not seen anything at this point. The rings pulsing ominously on your finger.
Okay. In his exhausted state, the only thing he can think of is, I've got to keep going, and he turns into a brown bear because he has one more wild shape left.
You shift in to your brown bear form. Again, feel that horrible clenching. And now laying next to the polar bear is the corpse of a desiccated brown bear covered with boils. Tunarth, you have lost your brown bear and your polar bear wild shapes at this point. As in gone.
Well, I'm presuming Kel doesn't know this at this point. And all he can think to do is just try and follow where they went and just get up and move and keep moving.
Do me a wisdom saving throw, if you will. You're frozen there for a moment as the recognition of and the weight of what has occurred sort of pulses down on you. Iska, since you were about to throw him your thing and you saw him hop off and you kind of figured what he might be doing, you turn back and look back, just sort of see, you love Kel's wild shape, see what he might have turned into, kind of expecting to see maybe the giant elk or something else. You see in silhouette through the driving rain and sort of this gray thing, you see these two large shapes, one white and one brown, and kneeling next to them, a humanoid figure.
She stops, I guess, pulls the reins quickly on Charlotte, and just, says out loud, Kel?
He's about 50, 60 yards back at this point. Cause
it's got to be him, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he would hear you through the rain and the wind.
Oh, and it's not even, it's her just kind of asking it questioningly,
gotcha,
out loud.
I thought you were yelling out.
No, she turns to the others, guys, and guys, I think something's wrong with Kel. And she'll just turn and start heading his way as quickly as she can.
You guys go on. I'll wait for Isko and Kel.
Axel, Luna, and
Keep
also
going
Celia
forward.
Iskrind. You got because Iskrin's can lead the way.
Yeah, Eskrind's leading the way. Gotta get there
Okay, so he leads you on forward. Iska, Luck, you turn back with Iska.
Yeah.
You guys go back and see these two horribly desiccated corpses. Polar bear you've never seen before. The brown bear, though, is something that you remember from your early days with Kel. Fur is missing on it. Their skin is gray. There are black sort of lesions and pustules on it.
You see Kel kind of half up, half on his knees, just kind of staggering, trying to pull himself forward, trying to get himself up, but not fully succeeding. Just kind of oblivious and just trying to move forward however he can pull himself forward.
Iska hops off the spider as quickly as she can. Shaw comes off again, and she runs up, and she throws it over. She just runs to the side of Kel and just throws it over his back, drapes it over him. Kel, what happened? Are you okay? Kel, and it's just kind of waving her hand in front of him. If he's just zoned out,
he's zoned out. He's not responding.
She looks to Luck.
Hold on. Luck sort of jumps down, runs up to the brown bear since he knows what that is, and checks to see if this is some sort of disease, if it's something noticeable that he might have encountered before.
It is nothing you've seen before. I mean, it is most assuredly dead. It is the corpse is, as I said, desiccated, emaciated. You can see its ribs through it. When you sort of even go up and touch it, the hair kind of sort of wherever you've touched falls out. There is sort of these black, almost lesions that almost look like craters that have sort of eaten into it. Do me go ahead and do me a survival check, Luck. Or actually an investigation. Actually, let's do a double. This is a survival and investigation, so... I want to pull on your leatherworking knowledge, which I believe is based off of what your survival is based off of. You sort of are going through, and sort of trying to find a heartbeat, try to see what's going on. And as you come around sort of to the center chest of the black bear, you see what looks like the back end, these black fletchings, as though it has been pierced by an arrow, by this black, sickly looking arrow.
Oh dear. So look, Iska, I'll explain as we move, but we need to get Cal safe now.
You're right, Kel. Kel, let's get to that cave. Let's get you warm. Let's get inside. Come on.
Yes, but...
And she'll just try to guide this despondent Kel to Luck's mount and hopefully get him secure back where he was before.
Do you resist, Kel?
I'm here.
Hello.
You're muted, Danny.
If he sees Luck, he's going to basically just grab for Luck's arm to try and pull himself up, and just try and get. I mean, is the goat there? Is the mountain goat there?
Yeah, it is.
Then he's just going to, grab Luck's arm and then grab and try and pull himself up and probably not succeed.
So be that like spotting pretty much.
Yeah, Iska's there with him, guiding him up.
Let's get you up there.
Yep, you're able to, between the two of you, certainly Luck is plenty strong enough to get Kel up on this mount. You all get him up on there and can continue in the direction you saw the rest of the party go, led by Iskrin, over to the west. As you guys head that direction, hail does begin to come down on all of you. Give me, again, the three of you, Constitution saving throws.
I want to ask something here. Now, my blood right magic. But it's fire. Like it would give up. Like it does fire damage, so it would give up. Then Luck would just needs to be a weapon. I think an improvised weapon counts as well, right?
Oh yeah, anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So Luck just pretty much pulls out one of his empty sort of alchemist bottles and just pretty much smash it on his hand, sort of blood, as he pours the blood on it to light fire, his sort of the red crimson fire around it, trying to provide some heat.
Okay.
I was also going to say I wanted to if you would allow it, I wanted like Iska to be like talking to Kel the entire time, just in a soft voice, just saying things like, "As soon as we get to the cave, I'll make a nice cup of tea for us. It'll warm you right up. It'll be exactly what you need," to give him some bardic inspiration for any like checks that were gonna happen.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, for you guys, this is, for Iska and Luck, it is about resisting the hailstones that are coming down. For Kel, it's to keep him from slipping into shock. You guys are been around, I'd say Luck most certainly has been around people who have been trapped in cave-ins, exposure, exhaustion, and sometimes, the shock is more deadly than the actual incident itself. So go ahead and give me those Constitution saving throws, and you can do it with your bardic inspiration, Kel.
Before you say the roll or the ruling, I'm going to use a donated inspiration on my.
Okay.
It's double digits.
It's 10.
Yep. So that's 19 for Kel, 20 for Luck, and it is a 10 for Iska. Iska, as you are guarding over Kel, and it's actually as you are trying to get him onto the mount, the hail starts to come down. It sort of takes you by surprise. Look at that. And you take 2 bludgeoning damage. As it, once that happens, you sort of can cover your face to keep it from coming down, sort of, keep your head low, and get yourself underneath your other clothing as well.
If that did happen, Luck would like, because I always imagined his helmet sort of strapped on his back, and it's like one of those sort of kettle helmets.
Yeah.
Sort of just and sort of put it on Iska's head to center a bit more.
That's fine. You can do that. So yeah, and that gets you protected. In fact, Luck's quick action there has kept you from suffering more damage. As this hail comes down, you do sort of get that cacophony of now, hail hitting on top of this metal helmet. Luck, since I believe you're the only one trained and Kel's in no condition, give me a survival check for following now Iskrin and the rest of the party through this rain and storm as the wind howls and the rain comes pouring down.
All right.
Question: would Axel deem it safe enough to cast spells at this point in distance from the vice?
No, you guys are literally only a couple hours from the vice.
Yeah. Okay.
But on your nat 20, you are more than able to keep track, to follow their path, even as it's quickly getting washed away with rain. This is, I say Florida rain because I'm from here. These heavy sheets and waves of rain as thunder and lightning is coming down all around you. You do see lightning strikes on some of the high points around you. This is a dangerous storm, and if it weren't for your expertise in, again, Elevation Pit is not exactly like this, but pretty close. You are able to find the telltale signs and eventually sort of come around a corner where you see the entrance to a cave. Before you enter, I'm going to hop back to our other players. So, Celia, you were with the group with Iskrin. You and Iskrin had a fight a little bit earlier, just because he rolled a nat 1 on something. But Luna and Axel and Celia, you all make it to the cave. Luna, just because of your mount, is a little bit more of a pack animal. We'll say that you had packed the firewood to take with you. Some of it was on Iska's mount, but for the most part, it had been loaded up onto Carrot. What do you guys do as Iskrin leads you around the corner, and what you find is basically where three of these big limestone outcroppings have sort of thrust up together to almost form a, isn't it called a yurt? Like where this big stone slab houses on three sides. Towards the back, deadfall and dirt have sort of filled in any of the cracks in the back. There is a fairly wide, almost a 20-foot tall opening at the front, but it is gives you shelter from top top and back side. The front side serves like a giant teepee type idea, almost 20 feet tall at the center. There is room, plenty of room for the mounts to get in there well. It's about probably almost 40 feet deep. Narrows and widens as other rocks and other things, potentially avalanches in this area, who knows, have put other debris in here. There's a little bit of wood that was already in here as well. How do you go about getting this place set up? The rain has just begun to fall as you guys reach this cave.
No, it's been raining.
I'm sorry, the hail just begins. You start to hear hail come down outside as you guys sort of duck inside quickly. Or Celia or Axel, any of you.
Okay, here we go.
Axel rolled a 9. He's very, very cold, so he's just going to bundle up in his blanket and his cloak, and he's going to, a bit uncertain. He's been in the rain before. It's just colder than he ever expected. But he's sort of going to scramble around trying to see if there's a way that he can, I don't know, use a blanket or just like the tents or something to sort of cover up at least most of the main entrance, so that you can sort of pull it across and put it back in.
Okay.
Just as to prevent too much rain or anything getting through.
Okay, Celia, how about you?
Yeah.
Or Luna, either one.
Celia is. She has a pretty good cloak on.
I mean, you can just go in if you want. You
Yeah,
and Iskrin just sort of head in.
After, the grouping of the party that's currently gathered is in, and the animals and everything, Luna's basically going to make sure the firewood is all dewatered if any of that got damp in the rain. People, pulling excess water off them, animals, just basically dewater the party in general.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to make a constitution check on that. Again, this is concentration for you.
It's not, though.
I'm saying because you're exhausted, due to use your ability to move this much water around, out of people, off of trees, all that type of stuff.
Oh, the wood. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a willpower check, kind of. I mean, you're able to, but it takes you more time than normal. What normally is just a snap for you to do does take you more time to accomplish. But you are able to get people, for the most part, dry. You're able to get the wood, any little bit of water that had collected on it, you're able to get it dry, and sort of start getting. Y'all, I assume, are bringing the mounts inside.
Yep.
Get the mounts inside. And about that time, you guys do hear, I guess you probably hear the hoofs of Lux, Ram. Charlotte is pretty quiet as she comes into the area, and you see Iska, Luck, and a despondent Kel come into the cave, into this sort of sheltered area that you have found.
Make room, make room. We need to get him warm quickly.
Is there a fire going yet?
No one said that they had gotten a fire going.
Okay. Iska's gonna just immediately get the boiling stone out and just start preparing some like hot water as quickly as possible
Okay.
to get some tea in the kettle just to warm him up and hopefully maybe calm him down, just be something soothing and relaxing.
Yeah, the warming stone certainly will get water going. It will not start a fire. I mean, someone would need with a tinderbox or other means.
Yeah, Celia has a tinderbox she can start fire with.
Okay. Celia goes ahead and easy enough gets a fire started with a tinder that is in there. It lights up and brings, quickly brings much needed both comfort and warmth as you guys find yourself out of the wind. The rain is still pouring down pretty heavily outside, but at least for now, you guys are, your mounts, your belongings are inside and out of this storm.
Luke is pretty much trying to help Kel get down, get him sort of seated.
Question. Would, even though Kel didn't really look at the corpses, does he pretty much know what happened? Even though he's been, deliberately trying not to think about it in the immediacy of trying to, keep moving.
You know that there's always sort of an image in your mind that you sort of let your body flow into. There's sort of a sort of spiritual connection that you have with animals that you're able to beast shape into, and you feel the void of those two animals missing. You're unable to, you remember them, but you are unable to make a connection with them. It's as though they are dead.
Is he at all aware of anything more specific than that? In other words, what Luck saw as far as arrow marks and stuff, or no?
No, I mean, that you do not register. I mean,
okay.
If anything,
okay, I just wanted to check for me.
The thing that probably, again, it's just of two. The ring certainly, I think, would have come to mind. As it's there pulsing on your finger. Do me a perception check. I'm going to give it to you. In the horror of the moment, and with everything going on, you're now realizing that pulsing of the ring is very much like a heartbeat. And over the course of the time since you've gotten it, you have heard it, you have felt it stop multiple times.
Okay. Well, Kel is going to allow himself to be helped down, and then basically just stagger over to the wall and just kind of almost flop down with his back against the wall, and just kind of draw his knees up and put his arms around his knees and just his head down on his forearms. And just not move.
What's everyone else up to?
Sort of look, stares at Kel for a bit, and then looks at Isco and everyone else. Kel, I looked at the bodies. You want to know what I found?
Kel doesn't respond.
Everyone else.
What did you even? Why did you go back? What did you find?
Those shapes. There was two large bodies. One looked like a bear, but I couldn't tell you what it actually was. The other was definitely a big brown bear.
It was Kel's bear.
Yes. And it was before boil all over. And looked malnourished, almost just a rotting corpse. That's the best way to describe it. And along its stomach, marks of these black arrows, very similar to what we encountered during our run in the bugs. Very similar to, well, what is related to that thing.
Iskrin's going to chime in just because I know that Kyle would, because I have actually been whispering to him. He just sort of says, the corruption. I didn't know what it was, but when we were in the station, I saw when he was in one of his shapes, there was a corruption that was, I didn't know. He just sort of says, I didn't know what it was. I was going to talk once we got a chance, but then the dragon, and Iskrin sort of, starts recounting too many of the things that have happened.
All right, we get the point.
So, well, every ring had its curse. We need to get some salt. If possible. Hey.
And we know, I think Cal knows the solution, but
does Axel remember if Cal was in either of those forms while fighting Sarathian? Were those the ones that were injured by the arrows?
No, he actually, if I recall, was
Elk?
as Giant Elk and Dire Wolf. Yeah, because neither one of them had blind sight, had dark vision.
And I was a spider in the other place.
Correct.
Perhaps. So, it's taking your brother. It's taking his shapes. We need to probably was. You don't count. Did this happen when you tried to shift into them? Because if that's the case, you know it's going to be difficult for you, but you can't. I don't think you want to shift again. Because if that happens again, at least until the curse is lifted. Because if that happens to each of your creatures. Axel just leaves it there. He's like, I don't need to say. Yeah, it's more infant. Yeah, he just sort of leaves it there because Cal would know, seems to know even worse than Axel what it would be like to miss a part of yourself. No. They're saving throws, you know?
The second that water is done, like, Iska's got tea ready and just goes and kind of joins Kel in the back against the wall, sitting down on the ground, and just kind of holds something out towards him. Doesn't, like, force it on him or anything, but just, like, very clearly offers it to him and just sits next to him.
He doesn't see it because his head is still down.
Arm over shoulder.
He flinches.
And she just keeps it there for a second. Doesn't say much. She's just trying to be close right now.
He subtly just tries to shift
to shift away.
He doesn't want to be touched, and he's trying to
She'll
get her arm off.
She'll pull back. And just hold the cup with two hands then. Doesn't leave, but gives him space, doesn't touch him. And just kind of looks up at the others, just almost with a look of like, one, what the hell, and two, I don't know what to do.
Axel, we will say in this time you've been able... Whoops.
You're muted.
Yep. Axel, we will say in this time that you have been able to sort of rig up the tent across sort of the top half across the front. So the wind, again, died off and the temperature's beginning to come up a little bit inside of this space. Certainly with the 7 of you and your mounts, that is assisting in bringing warmth up as well.
And of course, make sure that there's some gap at the top for the smoke to escape.
Yeah, you can see actually even towards from the back of sort of, it actually seems to be flowing almost towards the back. That's almost, you're getting a nice sort of chimney effect across what would be the ridge line of the ceiling to somewhere where there's an opening in the back. Anyone else? What do you guys? Luna?
Celia's just gonna kind of like sit with her back against the wall and just play with her shuriken. Just kind of throw it, wait till it returns. Just keep doing that over and over and over again until it stops.
Okay. Yeah. The rain goes on for the next hour, then another hour. It does not seem to be letting up. It is now getting to be sort of later in the afternoon. This storm is springtime up in the Highlands.
Axel's sort of settling in, got his books and things out. The thing is, he's still got his blanket wrapped around him, and he still seems cold and, yeah, despite the fact that there's the fire going. But he's sort of got himself comfy enough to go through and do his notes, and just settle into his usual routine.
Yeah, it's by no means warm in here. It is, it's taken that you're not going to die of exposure, but I mean, it's probably, I'm trying to think, I don't know my Celsius, but in Fahrenheit, I mean, it's probably, mid 60s, maybe a little bit lower inside of here. Next to the fire, of course, you can warm up a little bit, but, Axel would certainly realize that as this storm has gone on, you might be here for a while, and finding dry water again could take a little bit of time.
Finding what now?
Dry water. Finding dry water. Yep. Finding dry wood.
Dry ice.
Yes. Might it's going to involve going outside, and it would involve trying to probably have Luna dewater it.
Who has a note is asleep again?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Who, as a note, is asleep again?
Luna is asleep again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said who, as a note, is asleep again. I didn't hear Luna. Sorry. Okay.
Well, you said Luna, so I said who as asleep.
Oh,
you forgot what you said.
Sorry. So right. As Florida, I think sitting around no active in mid 60s is cold. So for what you know what I'm saying, it's chilly in here. It is not deadly cold inside this cave. There is a fire as well. So Luna has fallen asleep. What's anyone else doing? Are you all just going to settle in, long rest it, or?
It's more. As someone who stayed up 48 hours straight, it's not a fun thing, and I know how exhausting it is. But I think Luke would skip out on the long rest here to watch over everyone and mainly watch over Cal.
You will take another point of exhaustion.
Yep.
Well, if Luck is doing that, Axel is in his books, and he will glance up at some point when he's not distracted. If you want to, rest while I stay up and watch, you can do that. We can trade off. It might be better. Axel does look tired. In fact, he looks really bad right now.
No.
It's been several hours since I've gone on, and he just looks, sick. But he doesn't seem too bad.
For a note, Iska has no exhaustion.
Yeah.
So she's the one, I think, who is less needy
Well,
of the sleep.
I had no exhaustion. This is my first. So it's all done. And he sort of looks at Axel. No, you look like you need rest. All that studying, tiring out your brain. You're a young lad. You need to sleep.
Yeah, Iska, do you let Luck stay up as well? I don't know. Would this be your first point of exhaustion, or will it be a second one for you, Luck?
First.
Okay.
First.
Julia would make them sleep because she has resistance against the 1 point of exhaustion. She can stay up all night and watch over everybody. She would make everybody go to sleep.
Actually, that your resistance would have been burned up the following morning.
The following morning?
We've done 24 hours already. So.
It says 5 days.
No, 1 point over the course of 5 days, not 1 point every 5 days. You see what I'm saying? You had one protection, so you didn't take a point of exhaustion the morning of the attack on the town. It basically you used up your exhaustion resistance, your 1 point of exhaustion resistance. Basically, if you don't use it in 5 days, it fades away. Type idea. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't think it would have burned up before the dragon attack.
we've all done 24 hours. So.
We've all, yeah, everyone is at this point going on 36 hours.
Okay. She would still make them sleep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you are elf. You've got yourself and Iskrin.
Sleep.
All right.
It takes a little bit more for Axel because he's got a lot of things going on, but he hasn't had that time to be with his books. So since they got there, since maybe a little while after Cal arrived and stuff, he would have opened up his book, spent 2 or 3 hours, just about 2 hours reading and studying and writing notes, and then eventually he'll get pushed to sleep.
Yeah.
So he did some
Iska,
studying for
Axel looks worse than more disheveled than you've probably ever seen him.
Well, Iska, after the interaction with Kel, gives him scoots away a little bit, stays relatively close by, and spends some time just kind of sitting next to him there every maybe 15 minutes using the boiling stone to reheat the cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't try to touch him again, doesn't try to say anything again, but just occasionally will rewarm the tea. And eventually, with no interaction between the two, it's clear, there's not, it's not necessarily helping. She's tried to make it herself available, and that's what she can do. And seeing Axel now, bedraggled as well, will go over to him after hearing Luck and Cilia tell him to sleep, and just say to him, "You really are looking pretty disheveled today, Axel. I know that mind of yours doesn't want to slow down, but I think it's best if all of us get a little cat nap." I'm sorry, I've had that one in my back pocket for a really long time, and there just hasn't been a lot of lighthearted moments in our life recently.
I'm just wondering, could you help me with this then? And then he'll push his notebook over. There's something I was thinking about since we were, what happened at East, and all the stories is dragons. They needed to be fed, I think, or something like that. They couldn't touch the ground. They couldn't come for us on their own. Maybe. And they go for creatures that are flying. Well, there might be still some stories of people who levitated, and then they were eaten, I think. But could you maybe, do you remember those stories, way back on in the caravan when he first told us about Netherwings? And the dragons could have come and eaten people whenever they wanted, but they didn't. Maybe it's because the feeders were stopping them, but the feeders fed them as well. It's just wondering if they can't touch the ground.
I mean, if they can, why wait so long to come for us? Why only pick off what's in the air?
Exactly. I think something in the device that seems to be some sort of, well, not device, but I think from what Iskrin's said and what it looks like, I think maybe it's not device, but it's this. I think it's the glyph that Glamflora made, or some sort of magic sigil or rune or something. But I think it stretches from east to west. In that that's why they're so different. That they're two different parts of the spell that need to work together, and when it crosses the vice, it broke the spell. But I'm thinking, if it works like that, it could also drain them if they landed. It's a long stretch shot, but if it's some sort of magical current going through the earth, like ley lines, like the ones that Kel saw. And then there's the weave that's being dragged into the vice, or before the vice. They couldn't land because it would hurt them or disrupt them, but they could in the center of the vice, where everything is pulled apart, where magic doesn't function right. Do you think does this make sense to you?
So it makes as much sense as anything in this world does these days, Axel, but you might be onto something here. You really might. That, in its weird way, does make sense.
It does. Well, I've got my notes here. If you want to, I want to figure it out, but I should sleep as well. I don't.
Get some rest.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'll take a read through, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow.
And yeah, he'll struggle to get to sleep. He does not, looks a bit poorly and certainly uncomfortable and raggled, but he will eventually fall asleep. It doesn't seem to improve, at least for the next few hours.
Look, will sort of keep staying awake until Axel is falling asleep, and he sort of wants to try and sneak up and perform like a quick medical check on him. Like pull out his healer's kit and see if he's being infected or something.
Okay. You'll need to roll me a medicine check.
Alrighty. I do own a healer's kit. If that.
Yep.
Okay.
So so add your proficiency to it, or if you've got your medicine check, if you've got your healer's kit set up with your proficiency, roll the healer's kit.
Okay. I don't. I'll just roll the medicine for now. Oof. Nice.
Wow.
You notice probably one thing almost immediately is the black around his neck has stretched up somewhat, and the tips of like his fur along his face, along his body, just the tips are blackened somewhat, as well as far coarser than they have been. And if you want to add more on there, it's also that's the visual change. Yeah.
It's happening to me more. What is happening? I've got two questions. Kel, as Luck will sort of move back to the corner of the cave and rest himself up, sort of having grain on his lap.
Iska, while you're up looking at the notes, Axel has fallen asleep. You do see Luck go over and sort of check on Axel. You think he's probably just tucking him in. It's Luck. Do me an insight. Look at you. Unless you're trying really hard to mask your concern and want to roll a deception against, Iska sees the concern on your face.
It's pretty clearly painted on his face. So.
Yeah, you see him. Go ahead.
She walks over, noticing that, kind of closes Axel's notes, makes sure they're in order and everything, and walks over and just talks, like grabs Luck. Luck, what's going on with Axel now?
Yes, he's unhealthy. He's sick with something.
With what?
I don't know. His fur is turning black. It's getting coarser. It's imagine getting a sick pet, like a kitten, and it comes across a nasty infection. It's almost like that. It's like
does it look like what happened to? And she just like motions with her eyes, doesn't nod or anything, but like looks towards Kel. She doesn't want to like draw attention to Kel or anything.
This It's not oils and stuff. It's blackening. It's something else. The things with Kel was is deformation on his body. This is more like a how do I explain it? It's like a weak crack within a tunnel. You don't notice it at first, and you keep going deeper and deeper. And then behind you, keep mining. You don't notice the crack growing and growing. That's a better example. It looks like a slow way to play what this is going to happen, but it's clear. I couldn't tell you what this is. I've never seen. I'm not. I was raised in a human village. I only know human illnesses. I couldn't tell you if this is something specific to the Tabaxi race or if this is something magical.
I can try to find out what's going on with him, but it's going to take some magic, and I don't want to risk anything still if we still might be affected by it. How long has, Luna been asleep at this point?
I mean, I'd say at this point, it's not been 8 hours. I'd say this is, we're probably only at, y'all got in here, it was late afternoon. She fell asleep right when y'all first came. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's still probably only about 10 o'clock at night. It's not super late yet. So she's getting close. She's been asleep for, I'd say, probably 6 hours.
I think then that Iska would probably plan to just stay up later until it seemed like Luna had enough rest, because she wants to try to cast Identify on Axel, but doesn't want to do it without the reassurance of Luna's vice-surging protection.
Okay.
I'll let Luna sleep some more. I'll wake her up, but God, we need to figure out what's going on now. And she will look to Kel and then look back to Axel, and she will actually approach Axel's sleeping body and just look at his hands to see if anything is manifested on them, to see if it's some curse manifesting or if a ring has appeared or anything.
There is no ring. You do notice one of his hands, the blackening of the fur, and sort of as you pick up his hand, one hand, his sort of kind of, it as be sort of his spell casting hand. As you sort of look again for checking through his fur to make sure that there's not a ring there. Some of the hair falls out and it is black. And do me a perception check. Ooh, on a 16. There's a smell of rot.
I put his hand down gently so as not to wake him, but I'm shaken, very much shaken. Out of character, I'm yelling, Axel Lich fucking confirmed, but Iska approaches Luck, and it's just like, there's something wrong with him. His skin, his hand, it smells like it's rotting away. I'll let Luna get some more sleep, but I'm waking her up as soon as possible.
Don't tell her. I'm going to try something. And sort of looks around and gets near Axel as he sort of closes his eyes and sort of touches Axel. And I'm going to investigate if Axel is undead.
Okay. Yeah, you take a moment and close your eyes and focus on your blood. Focus on your heartbeat, on all of the things that sort of define yourself as being the protector of Elevation Pit. You feel nothing. Axel is alive.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's not that bad. It's an infection. It's an infection. It's not. Okay. Nope. We can fix this. This is fixable. We can fix the illness. We can't fix death. Or undeath. Undeath.
Yeah, you saying we can't fix death, like
We can't
Iska
fix
just gives
undeath.
Iska gives you a look.
Undeath, I meant. Snip the tongue.
All right. My plan is to wait till I can wake Luna up and identify an Axel.
So Celia, I'm going to let you decide for yourself and Iskrin doing your 4 hours. I'm assuming neither one of you are going to try to lean on Kel for a watch, but you're a rogue. I assume you're going to put up a watch. So do you want to go, are you going to go first into Reverie, or are you going to have Iskrin go first into Reverie?
I'm gonna watch first and then Iskrin.
Okay. So Iskrin has gone into Reverie because you told him to.
Because I told him to.
I think I saw. Did I see you out of the corner of my eye, Danny? Motion that you had something. Okay.
So during all of this, obviously it's several hours. Can I have taken a short rest?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Kel is not thinking of resting. And he's going to wait. He's been waiting for everybody to just kind of subside and, just kind of listening at this point.
Yep,
Because he's been thinking and so once an appropriate moment happens, he's going to lift his head and stand up. I don't know if anybody is awake watching him.
Short rest, is usually about an hour, so I'd say most people are probably still awake at that point. If you're
no, he would have finished the short rest and then just waited.
Right. So at this point, Iska is up. We'll say Luck. Are you waiting up with Iska until Luna wakes? Is that your plan?
Yeah.
Okay. So Luna's asleep. Celia is up. Axel is asleep. So Celia, Iska, and Luck at this point are still awake. And with your alert feed, I'd say you'd know that. So if you're going to wait till everyone's asleep, you're going to need to wait longer. But
yeah. Well, at some point, he's tired of waiting, and so he will get up and stand very slowly. Since he now has the example of Luck's new mount, can he potentially have a giant goat wild shape, which is on the, I think, 1/2 list?
You look and
the
examine.
1/2 challenge 1/2.
Yep, examine the giant goat and try to make that connection and lock it in your mind. And as you do so and try to shift into its form.
Well, before I do that, I want to examine it, and then I want to walk to the mouth of the cave. Not do it like right here.
Okay.
Because this is an experiment.
As you attempt,
and I'll probably step just outside of the cave and right around the corner, so I'm probably out of the range at this point.
You attempt to shift, and it's almost like you hit a black wall, and you find yourself standing in your elven form, unable to connect with this new beast that you've examined and learn its wild shape.
Does that use one of my wild shapes?
No, because it never took. I mean,
Okay.
you were never able to even begin. It wasn't that you shifted and then bounced back. It was that you were, as you tried to, have your body sort of flow into it, you never got a clear enough picture. You were able to sort of lock in the shape in your mind. It's as though something blocked it.
Okay. I'm going to attempt one of the others that I know I've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
An ox.
You shift into an ox.
I drop it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shift into another one that I know I've been able to do in the past and shift into a black bear.
You shift into a black bear.
Kel will then remain in a black bear form and go out into the night for as long as he knows he has.
It is still pouring down rain, sheets of it, lightning and thunder. You are very much exposed out here. Do you continue?
Just for I don't know, a few hundred feet,
Okay.
not too far away.
Iska, Luck, you are awake, and Cilia, even you see Kel get up, and you see him sort of stand in the threshold. You then see large ox appear, and then a black bear, and you see it start to stroll, or see it stroll out of the front of the cave.
It's not all of them. They're still in there. Some of them, at least.
Celia will stand
Okay.
and look at Iska and Luck, say, I'll be back. And
Okay.
she is going to
Tread lightly, Celia.
follow Kel.
Uh,
And
stealthily, or just walk out?
just walk out.
As you step out, I mean, actually, from the mouth of the cave, you can see Kel's only about 100 feet away, or the black bear is only about 100 feet away, just sort of standing as the rain is pouring down in sheets around it. There's really no trees in this spot. The wind blowing its fur. It's dark, so if it weren't for your dark vision, you would lose him pretty quickly. But You just sitting there, Cal, or prowling?
I'll just he's gonna just reach some random point that feels right, and then just sit. Probably.
Celia's going to walk out and look at Bear Kel and just say, "Fight me." Nod for yes, shake head for no.
The bear just goes down completely on the ground, puts his head on his paws, his front paws. Yeah.
Mm.
Celia will sit in front of him, cross your legs, and she's just gonna look at him and say, "So you don't want to fight me?"
The bear just kind of snorts.
Aw, poor bear.
You are getting drenched to the skin, Celia. You're trying to not have it affect you. The first sort of shivers start to, and involuntarily start to shake you.
Yeah, Celia's gonna sit there right in front of him. Put his cloak up. And just gonna look at him.
Do me a Constitution check, Celia. I don't know.
Check or save?
Just a check at this
it's
point.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start to shiver, but you sit there resolute.
The bear will kind of turn his head to the side and not look at you, and just kind of
Celia in Elvish will say, emotions aren't bad. You're allowed to have them. Anger and sadness and every emotion that is perceived as negative, I have found fighting to be a good way to get the emotions out when you need to. I don't know exactly how druids are. Thank you, printer. I don't know exactly how druids are. But I see zero reason for that not to work for you.
bear will sit up on its, kind of sitting on its butt, and just kind of look you in the eye and just go,
will stand and start to walk away, but she'll look back at him and say, I know how it feels to be an outcast. If you need to talk, you just come to me. And she'll walk back to the cave.
Okay. You make it back inside. Iska, Luck, you see Celia enter. Kel's not with her, or the black bear isn't. Y'all just say anything, or did let her go back to sitting?
Just a nod when she comes in. Like, at this point, and knowing Kel, like, I know Kel likes, I don't know if he likes, but I know he deals with things on his own a lot. And Iska's attempts to, like, do a one-on-one thing has never really, like, worked out great. So this is kind of what she expected.
Okay. Unless you all have anything other than waiting for Luna, I'd say another 2 hours pass.
After
Oh,
another 2
oh,
hours.
wait a second. So yeah, sorry. Yeah, because Kel's would have run out of wild shape. Sorry.
Yeah, before his time is up, the bear will come right, back in just inside the mouth of the cave and turn back into Kel.
Okay.
Celia spends the rest of her time just wringing out her cloak.
Yeah, you were soaked to the skin. I mean,
And she takes her braids out and just tries to dry it up and
yeah. Okay.
Like by the time Kel gets back, she's just like curly hair everywhere, and it's not a good look for Celia.
Kel will go over to Celia and say, I know you were trying to help, but fighting is what started this in the first place. And then he'll walk away.
She's going to call after her and say, fighting is what's going to end this.
You see the back of Kel and his head just shaking, but no response.
So, Kel, do you go into reverie or just sit? Because you did short before.
I just sit. I'll take another short rest, but he can't meditate. He can't.
Gotcha.
Which means he's probably going to take another point of exhaustion.
Yay, Kyle! You look so sleepy.
Hey, there's a Kyle. Do-do-do.
Feeling a bit dusty.
Let's get people in their spots. So, it's right around 4:11. Tell you what, why don't we catch Kyle up, and then we'll do our break, and then we'll go to our next piece. So, who wants to recap? Bird.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. What has happened? We are leaving. We left east. We are going south, right? It's all going great. Wrong. Huge storm coming. We got to find a place. Iskrin rolls a nat 20. You're not even here, bro, and you rolled a nat 20. You found a cave for us. Thank you for doing that. Very much appreciated. We're all going to this cave. We're all good, but then this thunderstorm hits. Hail's coming down. We're getting chilly. Kel especially. He's, shivering. He thinks, I'm going to turn into a bear. Turns into one bear. Problem. That bear appears next to him, dead, covered in boils and black shit everywhere. Uh-oh, no problem. I got another bear in my back pocket. Turns into that bear. False. That bear also shows up next to it, dead, covered in boils and black stuff. Kel is freaked out, despondent, doesn't know what to do. Iska, Luck, turn around. The others go ahead, you included, to go get the cave ready. We bring Luck with. He's just zoned out, not feeling it at all. Iskrin says some stuff about how back in the train station, when Kel was in animal form, he noticed some corruption around Kel. Anyways, everyone goes to sleep for the most part. Axel turns out not doing great. He goes to sleep. We take a look. His skin is rotted. It's bad, my dude. So now we're waiting. Kel goes outside because he's cranky. He turns into an ox and a bear. Those are fine for some reason. Then he goes off into the rain to be sad. Celia goes out and is like, yo, dude, don't be sad. Fight me. It's always worked in the past. It's not like I've stabbed my boyfriend and almost killed him. Then it's okay. Kel doesn't want to fight. That's all right. They kind of have this mutual moment in the rain. They return. Celia's like, it's cool. Kel says, I know you tried, but no. Celia's like, no, come on. It's super cool. Kel's like, no. And now we're here. We're waiting for Luna to get up so we can cast Identify on Axel, see what's wrong with him. Ishgrin will wake up and have witticisms and questions and stories to tell.
Can you honestly recap every game?
Truly?
That was a real good recap. It was.
That was incredible.
That was exciting.
Like, congrats from the beginning.
That's like Vice recaps for the cool kids.
Previously on The Vice.
Previously on The Vice. Dude, yeah, no, you are like, you might have to be like recap guy from now on.
Because now I'm scared. Holy shit.
So, we will take a quick break on that. So yeah, to wake you... Yeah, to wake you up, we'll have Luna. Actually, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about Danny, do you want to talk a little bit about Mr. Holland's Opus Fund? Because I think it was the one that you recommended. Or I can just do it recap either way.
You go ahead. I'm not good at that.
Okay. So, this month we do run our channel 100% for charity. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. Every month we roll on our, we have a big chart of charities. And one of the ones that we had taken suggestions about was Mr. Holland's Opus Fund, which is a fund that helps to give musical instruments to music programs that are underfunded in schools around the nation, so that even those underfunded schools will be able to provide instrument and music instruction to kids in those areas. So it is a great cause. Music is such an important part of young people's mental and emotional development, and being able to play an instrument has been proven again and again and again as being one of those things that helps to develop young kids' minds, and all those both motor skills, being able to read music, think different, problem solving, all those good kind of things. Also, certainly the community of being in a band, large, small, or orchestra, and so it's a great charity. If you would like to donate, you can down below, and. If you'd like to influence our game, because gosh, yeah, our party doesn't need any help at all right now, you can do that by shopping on the little list there. This month, our special $50 level is a rod, staff, wand, or ring of rare or lesser quality, a random one given to a player, so they get to roll it up and see what they get. And in the meantime, that is what we do here. With our donation to for our last charities, we are now over the 8,000 mark and quickly approaching to $10,000 donated by this community and the stream. So to different charities over the last year. So all of y'all are awesome. And with all of that said, we have the illustrious, the wonderful, the incomparable NNG9 for Pun of the Week.
Yes.
Hello, lovely viewers. I hope you're all doing well. Today's special treat, the Pun of the Week. What is a golf club's favorite type of music?
I don't know. What is a golf club's favorite type of music?
Swing music! Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba!
Nice that you even put the little swing into the tag at the end.
Bird, those are the most reluctant jazz hands I've ever seen.
Heavens.
Reluctant.
I've never had to jazz hands against my will, but there's a first time for everything.
Oh, you haven't been in dance theater enough then. There are many jazz hands against will.
Hey, Dragons or Cats, why don't you introduce yourself and tell people who you are while I run and be back in just a moment.
Hello, everyone. I am Dragon's Eye Cast. My voice is a bit raspy tonight. There's probably a good reason for that. I'll tell everyone later on. I am playing Ishgrin today.
As Vera said in Auntie May, my God, that moon is bright.
It's night.
It's an incredible 8 a.m. in the morning, and I slept through the first 2 hours, and I feel so bad for it.
Wag your finger. There you go.
Just brush that dust off your shoulders. It's fine.
Or just hold it against you. It's coming out of your contract.
To be fair, yeah, Ishgrin's going to not level for the next 8 months. Jay's already sent the letter, and holy shit, is it perfectly worded and scary.
Yeah,
I know you can still hear me too.
Spreadsheets attached and everything. We know.
Holy shit, you should see the spreadsheets. The spreadsheets are insane.
Yeah,
There's a spreadsheet in the spreadsheet for what he's going to do if I break the contract. Oh shit,
Yeah.
he's here.
Yeah, like he has spreadsheets just in case we try and get out of this, guys.
Spreadsheets for spreadsheets. Just
Yeah, he has spreadsheets for what we're going to do, what our reactions are going to be, and I am happy to be here.
There you go.
This is called this is the Vice, everyone, and we love it here, don't we, everyone?
Yeah, it's just like Hotel California. We can check out any time we like, but we can never leave.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will rejoin our group. Luna, you've been asleep for 8 hours. I guess it officially would be a long rest. The question is whether Luna sleeps longer. At this point, Iskrin is coming out of reverie. He's been in reverie for 4 hours. Celia, you're back in. You have the worst humidity hair ever. As you have undone your braids, you're muted. And Luck, Iska, you all have just sort of kind of watched over the fire, keeping it stoked, trying to keep people warm, keep yourselves warm as this long night and storm, as it still rages outside, continues.
When I come up from my reverie, I turn to Celia. Am I able to cast spells? How is the weave and everything?
We haven't tried.
We haven't tried, and you're only about an hour away from the vice, so the weave is a mess. You can see it, and there is nothing special about this enclosure or cave that you're in that would make you think otherwise.
I look at Celia and I say, I would prestidigitation your hair, but not a good place of magic still.
You guys see Iskrin wake up. So are you going to go ahead and go into reverie, or are you going to stay up for a little bit?
Celia's gonna try and spend a little bit of time putting her braid back in, and then she's gonna go to sleep.
Okay. Iska, Luck, do you guys... Does Luna come wake up, or...
I mean, it doesn't matter. They're waking me up either way. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So, you guys, you know that she's been asleep. Yeah, she's been asleep for about 8 hours. You all can wake her up if you so choose.
You do it. I don't want the sleep treatment.
I think that's fair. And Iska will go and gently nudge Luna awake, just hand on shoulder or side, kind of slight nods.
Whatever hand and wherever you touch her, like as a reflex grabs it.
Hi.
Not harshly, but just and over. Do you need something?
You feeling okay? You feeling rested?
Do you need something?
Something's wrong with Axel. I could use your assistance.
Get over to where Axel is.
And Iska will explain that something's wrong. The darkness around his neck, it's deeper and darker than before. His hand, it feels rotted away.
Yeah, I assume you also do you also tell her about Luck's examination of him already?
Yeah. I'm sure Luck at this point will have joined us maybe.
Yeah, it looks like. Look around his neck here, his ears, and apparently there's something going on with his hands.
Okay.
Yeah, you've taken a long rest, so you have all your things and stuff that recharges on a long rest has recharged, Luna.
Yep. She's, all things considered, she thinks it's worth the risk because she doesn't actually know what Iska intends. She's just going to reach over and do detect disease poison.
Ooh, okay. You, first thing, roll me a d6.
Sure.
That's a level 1, right?
Yes. One.
Okay, give me a second. I gotta find the vice in you.
Please don't kill Yaxel while he's sleeping.
It's fine. I checked. The surge protection is a reaction. I can still do that.
Yeah. No. Oh, darn it. I forgot. Okay, so...
Doesn't need more voice surges.
Whatever. What's 1 more to 12? 13? That's a lucky number.
He's
Okay.
rotted and shrinking again.
roll me, just because it's easier to do percentages this way, go ahead and roll me a D100.
Sure. 100. 41.
It's a level 1 spell, right?
Yep.
Cool. The spell casts. It doesn't seem quite as strong as... actually, you've never cast this before, so you really wouldn't know. You are unable to detect any disease or anything on Axel.
Okay. I figure that would be the first thing to try.
Yep.
And she'll just go over. He does not appear to be diseased or poisoned.
And something has to be deeper in there. Something... I don't know. We need to find out. We need to find out now before it gets worse. If I use magic, can you protect us?
Those close enough to me, yes. We would need to gather everyone to guarantee our protection.
Okay, then... let's see. Ishkan's still awake. Or Ishkan woke up, so we can get him over
you
there.
You can grab
easily.
Celia before she goes into reverie.
Yeah. Hey, we will tell Celia what's going on.
Kel is probably the only person who is out of your radius right now, especially because you're going to be over top of Axel. So,
Yeah.
Axel, you can do me a perception check at disadvantage as you're asleep, and basically, everyone is in this entire cave is now gathered around you.
Hi, buddy.
To see whether or not you wake up. You're having weird dreams.
Yeah, I rolled for his dreams. He's having okay dreams.
He's having okay dreams.
And you were there. And you were there.
Yep. Did you guys grab Cal and bring him over?
Yeah, Iska will approach Kel. Is Kel just sitting same way back against the wall?
You're muted, Danny.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, then she'll approach, maintain like 2 or 3 feet between them, and just say quietly, Kel, something's wrong with Axel. Something very wrong. We're going to try to figure out what it is. Would you mind joining us so Luna can keep us safe from any of the side effects of magic here?
Cal lifts his head slowly and looks at you. His eyes are red, and it's obvious he's been crying, apparently silently, so he wouldn't get anybody's notice. But there's fresh tears on his cheeks, and he just gets up and walks over.
Thank you.
Not really looking directly at her.
Yeah.
Or anybody.
Right.
Okay. Everyone's gathered around within 5 feet of Luna. What level are you casting it at?
Identify?
Yep. Actually, I guess I'm not sure if you can cast it at a higher level. Actually,
Yeah, I think it's just one.
it's a level
Yeah.
1 spell. So go ahead and roll me that D100. It does seem. Now go ahead and roll me the D6 to see if it goes. On a 6, it casts as normal. And doesn't create a surge. So the spell goes off. You touch Axel.
I want to touch his hand specifically.
Yeah, you touch
That's
his
where-
hand specifically, and you've identified something before, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes.
You are familiar with when you've cast this before to identify things. That. Ooh, actually, you're supposed to roll a performance check, aren't you? Roll me a performance check for your material component.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Screw it.
Yep. So you use nat 20. So yeah, you're used to when you have identified things in the past, you just sort of get this clarity about what the markings mean, what it might do. As you put your hand on it, there is this feels almost like electric shock go through you. The rest of you see Iska sort of head rear back. Iska, in your mind, all you see is this whirling vortex of magic. Do me a wisdom saving throw to break free. Ooh, look at that with the plus 12.
I will burn everything this session.
You are, for a moment, you feel almost as though you are caught in this whirling vortex, and are being pulled into it, but you're able to sort of rip yourself away. And with that 22, because Iskren made it visible to you, it was the vortex at the center of the vice.
So am I back in
Yep.
the waking world here?
Yep, you're back in the waking world.
I don't... What the hell?
One thing I will say is if Iska had to do a performance check to do the identify, Axel probably woke up in the course of that.
True, because we would have been right over him. So
Yeah, that's true.
Point that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's how we, because Axel has to use the tiger's eyes, so it was how we were that he had to use you had to use a performance check to see whether or not your tip was seen was worthy, because it was basically
Worthy.
used. Because you had to use 10 gold coins that you had earned through performance. So it's not necessarily a performance, other than the fact of whether it's you got the right 10 coins. But I will let Axel. Axel. Do you want to wake up or not? Your call.
No.
He stays asleep.
Still
He's
good.
just as tired as the rest of them,
Yeah.
Sure.
plus more, because
Being up that long and doing what we've done.
Yeah.
What is it, Iska?
it's like a vision. It's a vortex magic swirling. It's the vice. It's what you showed me, as she points to Ishgrin. It's the weave spinning the vortex. I don't understand at all.
Something from that vortex is affecting Axel.
It has to be. I don't. But why the rot? Why his skin? Why any of this? Is it draining him? Is it?
Do you?
Kyle, can you are you too dusty to? You actually know the answer to this, Kyle.
I
But
do.
if you're feeling dusty, I can help you out.
Of course, Iskrin knows, but
Of course I know the answer. Kyle probably doesn't. Kyle's probably forgotten, but my sanity is slowly returning to me.
When you hear Eska say that, because you were the only person who actually perceived it, because you, in the weave, you saw that even though you were inside of the station, you saw Axel get hit by a magic surge when he tried to cast a spell with that hand.
Okay. Ishkin says that. He's gonna turn to Luna and Iska. He's the station. It was a vice surge. It went off. I think that is a part of the rot. Has he been affected by surges before? In this sort of way?
Yes,
Yeah.
not in this way.
Because he's grown since I've seen him, so this is... Maybe
And
some-
Luna's gonna indicate we should probably take the conversation away from sleeping Axel at this point and not crowd around him.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
As he's saying that, like, being right, it's like, oh, sorry, Axel. Like, he walks away.
what is the time, roughly?
Since you went to sleep, I mean, right now it's probably we're approaching 11 o'clock. I'd say you went to sleep because you were up for a while. We got there around 4. You stayed up probably for you. I'd say you probably went to sleep between 8 and 9. So you've only probably been asleep, 3 hours or so. I mean, well, actually, I know I'm not getting this all lined up because I know Kel stayed out in his shape, and which is what you're at a 3-hour wild shape now, Kel. You were in bear for 3 hours. Where are you trying to get at? I'm going to work with you on time during this night.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not dawn yet, is what
It's
I'm
not dawn yet. It is still, we'll say it's still darkness. Rain is still coming down. It's a long night.
If this is something caused by a surge, we will need more potent magic to undo it.
We'll need to get further away so we can use magic.
That is what we're doing. We can't leave in this condition.
That is true. We should at least try once we're away to make some passage through rough weather once we are rested. Like in a few days.
But how
For the
long do we
moment.
wait? How long do we have before this?
We cannot do anything about it right now with our current knowledge. Do not focus on what you cannot currently change. Focus on the path forward. I am also concerned.
We should observe. See what happens.
Observe?
It's all we can do right now.
I agree, which harms me.
Hey!
Quick our character question, because our character knowledge and stuff is getting confused in my head. We were told about a library in the place we're heading to.
Doc, I don't know if Doc mentioned it, but I mean, Falcon's Crest is the capital of the human city. I would say
Metropolis.
it's a metropolis.
yeah.
Most all of you have at least heard. I mean,
Definitely.
even in Elevation Pit, you've heard of Falcon's Crest. It is the glorious human,
Oh, the best human place next to Elevation Pit. Yeah.
exactly. It is second best, only to Elevation Pit.
That we're going to Phoenix Quest. It's huge. They must.
Oh my gosh! Thank you, Laura Lania, for the raiding party of 51.
Holy shit.
Hi.
Right?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hello.
And where's Zune? Actually, Gavin Wandering wanted Gavin to make an appearance and smash someone's head in while he was asleep because he smells like he's rotting.
He's not in bed. Not in bed. Verified. We checked.
Thank you for the subscription and for coming in and raiding us.
Ooh.
Thank you, everybody. But yeah, so
The city. They must have someone who knows stuff. Smart, magical people. One of those places where you keep all the books, like a very big shelf. You know what I mean?
Library.
Yes, one of those.
Luna, you do notice Iska looks like crap. She hasn't slept.
Mm-hmm.
At this
So
point.
we were getting to the
Yeah. Okay. I figured you noticed.
Mm-hmm. It's looking at Iska and Locke, actually. Just like, I have rested. It is now your turn. And she's actually going to point to the ring.
Kel, you see Luna point to the ring as well.
He kind of takes a look around at everybody, kind of for the first time actually noticing all of the people around him. And how bad does everybody look?
Iskrin looks fine. I mean, he's back up from his reverie.
course
Cilia
he
is
does.
just drifting off into hers. Axel, he doesn't look great. And you've heard everything that everyone's had to say about the fact that his, what's going on with him.
Well, actually, Kel may have heard, but he wasn't listening.
Okay, so yeah, Axel, Axel. When you take a closer look, he does not look good. The blackness around his neck has creeped up onto his face. His fur, again, being a druid, you would notice things like this that others might not as easily notice. His fur is sort of coarse and doesn't look healthy. Doesn't have any sort of sheen to it, and it'd take a close observation. But if you got in close, you would see that his hand seems to be losing hair and has the smell of rot.
What about Luna, Luck, and Iska?
Luna has had a long rest, so you still have 1 point of exhaustion. Luna's looking better than she did. Luck, actually, I think is fine. Yeah.
Well, except for the
after he
fact
goes
I'm-
to sleep.
And once he goes
Yeah.
to sleep, right at this point, he looks exhausted and he will have a point of exhaustion unless he gets put
maybe
to bed.
beyond half hit points. I just rechecked. I am actually on half hit points.
Oh,
So,
that's right. Yeah, you battled stuff. You're on half hit points. Luck is
Yeah.
still looking injured. And how about Iska?
Iska's also down about 15, 20 hit points and hasn't slept.
Yeah, they're looking rough.
Yeah. So Kel will look at Luna and say, "Yes, you're right," and we'll turn to Iska and Luck and say, "Do what she says. You need healing. You need rest. Go."
fine.
The second that storm breaks, we hit the road. We have to go now.
Get rest, Iska.
She just looks annoyed at the whole situation.
You are getting mom face right now. Like,
I know. And you are getting grumpy teenage rebellion.
You're not my real mom.
Luke just puts.
It is willing. So, I mean, are you going to be willing? Are you going to be broken, Iska?
Yeah, but not before having a little tantrum where she's just like, she makes it clear that she wants them to not even like mess around, like take our mounts, take them with you, let us rest, but hit the road the second that storm breaks. We don't have a minute to spare with everything. What, Luck? What?
They've been traveling with us and they see the same concern. I'm pretty sure they're making a mistake. We need to breathe. We've been up and we've nearly died today. We've nearly died this past month. Let's rest, think our heads through it, and we can do this more rationally.
She just looks at you for a second. She reaches out for like Luna's hand, and then just like, if Luna like doesn't resist or whatever, just like bops herself in the head with the ring and just goes into it.
There we go. Yeah, that's just like fine, whatever. As long as you go in, I don't care. Same with Luck.
Yeah,
There we
just
go.
just sort of boop.
Okay. Iskrin. As you were looking around and saw this sort of all go down, but also you sort of look from Luck and then look back to Celia, you do see some residual magic that's still circulating around her. It's fairly weak. It is a little bit of the life weave that is still around her. And you've noticed for the first time that she's a little bit older than you know, after her encounter with the ghost. And you also notice this is magic that's would be fairly easily broken, but not for long.
So Iskrin's like just gonna waddle over to her, just squat down as she like lays on a bedroll or something.
Yeah, right before she's tried twice now to go into reverie, and people have interrupted her, or three times. Yeah.
As he's looking, he doesn't say anything. He's just staring intently and just looking down and across and everything.
Yeah, actually, I should both of y'all know earlier you all had an argument while neither one of you were here.
He's just going to. So this life weight. So some basic magic could interrupt this, but not for long. It will be something I need to do every day to not reverse, but hold off.
Nope, literally, once it would be broken to be broken. This age effect that is on her, once it was broken, would be done, but only, it's some magics sort of solidify, after, things that change reality sort of solidify after a certain period, like 24 hours. So if you're going to want to do something about that, yeah.
Luna is awake. If you're going to do something.
Ishan his head kind of turns to the side as he kind of begins to take out his braid, because it's been braided for the last 2 days. It just lets it flow. It just looks down and is like, I've got a couple years on me. It's no difference if she does. He's just going to whisper. He's just going to make sure she's comfortable. Take off his mantle and put it down as a blanket for her. Not knowing that she's already comfortable and asleep, but now she's a little extra warm. He's just going to stand up and walk away. Well, once that's all done, he's going to take off his belt pouch and just put it on the ground. He's going to pull out the shard he took.
Okay.
And look it over. Now, looking it over, can I tell that... yeah, I can actually, because we discussed this before. It's one of the outer shards, the small ones. Yeah, the 8 outer ones. Cool. I'm going to stare at it a sec for a while, then just put it away.
Okay. Celia, as you go into reverie, I need you to make a perception check. You are having strange dreams. You dream of Moss Hollow. You sort of are reliving seeing those red-robed figures again. And as dreams often do, they drag you sort of deeper into other memories. And you find yourself back at Moss Hollow in the body of a small child, not looking at the red-robed figures around you, but there was another person in a dark, deep navy blue robe that seemed to be directing the red robes. And as you had noticed before, there were sort of sparkles shimmering inside of the sleeves of the robe and around the neck. And as you concentrate on that, something that maybe you'd been working on in the back of your mind, and slowly the realization comes to you. What you had thought was sparkling stars, a look into the sky itself, was jewelry. Jewelry that you've seen somewhere before. And that is where we're gonna end our session tonight. Sorry, guys, we're out of time. I know there's other stuff that people want to do, but we're out of time. I know. Give me grumpy face. You're welcome to. Let's.
Before we end, I actually wanted to say that Kel was going to attempt to go ahead and do his long rest as well. Go into his meditation.
Your call entirely. I won't make you roll for it, but if you'd like to roll for it to see whether you actually can, you're welcome to. I don't know whether you want to. I wouldn't do it, but if you want, I mean, I know that you were trying to say that it was going to be difficult for you. It's your call if you want to do a roll to see whether you get it or not.
Yeah. What do you want me to roll?
For going into reverie, I mean, I'd say it's probably a wisdom. And as a druid, as being sort of your main stat, I'd say it's probably a wisdom check whether you can calm your mind. I was going to do it as a 50-50, so, I mean, I think you were able to get there on a 15 or 12 even with exhaustion. So that would have been sort of my gut feel is you're exhausted enough that your body's wanting to put you into reverie as well. So, so you'll have dropped in to reverie.
That was it.
Yep.
As a post-credits thing, I will, as I stand up and leave from Cilia, just approaching the general campsite, I say so that everyone can hear. I start doing the do, like the sound of the feeder's nursery rhyme.
Who this?
And then I say that. Iskrin says, that nursery rhyme is pervasive across the continent. Yet, it does never describe what the feeders look like. Isn't that interesting?
No, go to sleep.
Anyway, so let's go around real quick so we can wrap up because I've got to get to the other stream. So we'll start with Tree Hugging Druid.
Hi. Tree Hugging Druid. You can go follow me on Twitter. I don't ever tweet anything, but I retweet whenever people are streaming on Twitch or Mixer, so that's fun.
Next up, Dragons Are Cats, our dusty Aussie this morning. I learned my new slang term. That dusty in Australian means hungover.
Yes. Use that to your advantage. Trust me, you'll confuse everyone. Yes, I am Dragons of Cats. I'm a dusty kitty who apparently can't talk as well. This has been a good hour. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm so glad I woke up in time to get on stream, and I'm so sorry that I wasn't here from the beginning. Things. But yeah, you can catch me over on my channel, Dragons Like Cats. You can catch me on Twitter as Dragons Like Cats. I run a D&D charity game every Wednesday night. We're currently on Thursday for this week because of life in the way, but it's all right. So yeah, you can catch me over there, and this was good fun for the time I was here. Thank you. And god damn it, why does everything go bad?
I will tell you, this is an entirely different episode than I was planning for today. Go ahead. Next up is Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden. I was playing Hidden by Axel V2 Axel Wizard. Yeah, interesting things when you drop the right hints. It's always fun. I am not turning into a lich. So you may catch me anywhere on the internet as Templar Warden, or you may catch me on Twitter at Rainer Templar. I just retweet things. That's about it. And you can find me here on the Vice because the Vice is awesome. Yeah. It's me done.
Bird versus Plane.
Why are all my friends broken? I just want to fix them. I am Bird vs. Plane. You can find me on Twitter and on Twitch at Bird vs. Plane. You can probably find me tomorrow after Dungeons and Coffee if we're doing that, playing some Monster Hunter and some other stuff in the near future. So come check me out. Fun session today. I'm sad for everyone I know.
NNG9, Alicia.
I'm NNG9. I swear a lot. I play video games on Twitch. I'm also a player in Two Virgins 80s game, Escalade Power Within at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays, along with Two North. I'm also gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern Time Friday game. I should be here for D&C tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's me. Also fun.
Next up, Good Guy Pie.
Hi, I'm Good Guy Pie. This was something. I was going to use the word wonderful, but who knows? Wonderful. I don't know. I'm not broken yet. Like maybe I've got a few flaws, but broken. Anyway, that has been me. I have been playing Goldheart, and
Let me put the countdown clock back up on the screen for people on the for good luck.
I'm too good to guy on Twitter and Good Guy Pie on Twitch. I will be streaming after this, doing my homebrew race of the Tree Folk. So jump in if you want to contribute to making that.
Cool. And last but not least, Danny Tunarth.
Hello, I am Tunarth in chat here. I'm Colin65 on Twitter, except I don't really do much of anything other than retweet the things I'm in, except hashtag Team Shangela. And I love the idea that Dragons Are Cats had. We need to do a Dungeons and Drag Queens at some point.
Dungeon and Drag Queens. It's happening.
So yeah, I'm here for this that you've just hopefully been enjoying, as we are sometimes wont to do. We have Dungeons and Coffees Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern. Which are we doing that tomorrow?
We are not. Remember, I'm celebrating Katie's birthday. It's her.
Right.
It's our big one, so we're going out.
And then I will be here, as NG9 said, on T. Fredrickson 80s channel at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, because tonight is the time change. Spring forward if you forgot. And it sucks. Boo, we lose an hour. So here's your reminder if you're paying attention.
I gain one in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, in case anybody's interested, I was persuaded to put all of the music that I've been writing for and inspired by this campaign on a YouTube channel. So there's the link if you want to have a closer listen to the music, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the creepy, like the Feeders, the song of the Feeders. Creepy, creepy. It disturbed me just writing it. And there you go. And yeah, that's me.
Cool. I am Tall Squall. You can find me here for the Vice on Saturdays at 2. You can also find me in an hour from now on the D&D channel for Learn by Play, Reinventing the Realms. And you can hear me on podcast Turncloaks on Mondays. And then on Tuesdays, you can hear me on The Long March, where, I killed Zune, my paladin, who's not a paladin really anymore, killed another player character. Feels bad. And she came and made me feel even guiltier, brought 51 people to raid my station. But I look forward to see where that story is going to go. I'm sure nothing will go wrong now that he's revealed himself. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. We do run our channel 100% for charity. If you would like to donate, we'd love to have you influence our game. If not, we do ask everyone to go and at least can visit the... I got something coming in. Can visit visit the website, which is linked down below, and go and find out more about the organization, Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation. So until next time, gather your friends together and tell a story, because that's what it's all about. Have a great one, everyone. Bye-bye.